Hello Garden family, my name is Felipe, and like many, if not all, this summer was nothing like I had planned. Because of the coronavirus, the world experienced disruption, and with that disruption came uncertainty. One of the many uncertainties that arose was whether or not we would see another VBS this year. As a result, the mission planning was put on hold. Yet despite the uncertainty and the hiatus, God was still at work, even if I couldn't recognize it. Several weeks had passed, and though the spread wasn't subsiding enough for us to meet at church, the publisher of the curriculum revised the material so that the VBS could be executed using Zoom. Now that the publishers had accommodated the students and leaders alike, the team began discussing logistics. As the team continued to meet over the next few weeks, the logistics grew more and more solidified. With the commencement of VBS nearing, a few of us would begin preparation at church. As for me, I would prepare student packs for the parents to pick up. This task would consist of gathering and arranging materials according to their respective days. Just as I began to prepare the student packs, I remember feeling body aches and fatigue. After an hour of organizing all the materials, I got up and I found myself staring down at all the materials that remained untouched. It was at that moment I had really underestimated the task I was up against. I found myself staring at the face of uncertainty yet again, and this time he brought a friend. Along with uncertainty came unbelief. Though I was the one looking down at the materials, it sure felt like those materials were the ones looking down at me. It felt like I was staring at a mountain, and it sure felt like one I couldn't move, especially because I was under the notion I had to tackle it all on my own. I wondered how I would organize and arrange 750 bags worth of materials in time for distribution. I even remember calculating the hours I would have to work if I wanted to catch up. I concluded I would have to work 12 hours, give or take, for the next several days. This conclusion was not helpful whatsoever, as I then began to wonder how I would be able to function given my body aches and fatigue. That only multiplied my uncertainty and my unbelief. Then come the next day, I'm continuing to work on the student packs all by myself when I suddenly get a text from Susan. She was letting me know that Donnie would be receiving assistance and if I would like assistance. It was in that moment I realized this was God's divine intervention. It was in that moment I really felt like my soul could breathe again. And when Susan arranged for the volunteers to come help me with the student packs, the influx of helpers were more than I could ever ask for. Because of all the helping hands, what should have taken nearly 2 weeks took 5 days. Interestingly enough, 5 also happens to be the number of grace. With this year's VBS theme being Jesus' power pulls us through, I believe God was reminding me that He is incredibly sovereign, and He wants me to choose His sovereignty over my uncertainty. When I forget God in my uncertainty, I am bound to fall short of what I so hoped for. However, when I choose to remember Him in the face of my uncertainty, I can remember He can far exceed my expectations. As I reflect on this truth, as I reflect on Jesus' power, I'm reminded of Psalm 46 verses 1 through 3, which says, "God, you're such a safe and powerful place to find a refuge. You're a proven help in time of trouble, more than enough and always available whenever I need you. So we will never fear, even if every structure of support were to crumble away. We will not fear even when the earth quakes and shakes, moving mountains and casting them into the sea. For the raging roar of stormy winds and crashing waves cannot erode our faith in you." So, I'm reminded that He's sovereign and that His power will pull us through, just as it did then. Thank you.